Hi everyone, Corey here. Today I'm doing a week ahead reading for January 8th to January 14th. And I do want to say that today is January 8th, so I won't really be making predictions about today since it's already here, but I'm still going to make predictions for the other 6 days of this week. I did already make this video a few days ago, but it wasn't what I wanted it to be exactly, so I just decided to redo this reading. And I have to say that some of the predictions I made have already come true today, and so I will talk about those. And it's actually incredible how many messages there are about this week. I have had to write down so many different things that have come to mind about this week, and hopefully I could get to all of them. But I have so many notes in front of me. But it's really interesting the things that have come up, and this week is going to be really positive, and there's going to be a lot of things coming in, a lot of movement. And the first thing that I want to say that this week is going to bring us is a lot of family bonding along with connecting with friends in your life. So you may hear from some old friends or talk to some family members that you don't get to see and talk to that often. Maybe it's a family member that doesn't live close to you, but you are able to text them or just call them or even FaceTime with them this week, and you'll just get to know them more and catch up on the things that they don't know yet, and just talk about how 2018 was for you and the things that you haven't been able to tell them. And you could tell them some good news and some things that you've accomplished recently or a while ago, but it's still something to celebrate and talk about. The biggest thing that I have received a message about is good news. So many of us are going to receive really good news this week, and the good news can pertain to being invited to a baby shower, births, pregnancies, graduations, passing a test. I know that's not like super big, but it can be if it says that you're going to graduate college, or even high school. That's still something big. Or you'll be invited to a birthday party, an anniversary party, wedding proposal, engagement, wedding, anything along those lines. I know there's more to say, but those are like really good examples of what I'm talking about when it comes to good news. And the good news could come through a friend or family member, or you could even be the one that says the good news, but nonetheless it's going to be good news. And this is a prediction that actually came true for me today already. I got like 3 notifications about exciting news. I saw one on Instagram. I got an email from a psychic medium who does platform readings and goes to a lot of events, and I get notification emails about announcements and new events coming up. And she mentioned some really exciting things and people that are going to come into town and offer workshops. And I also got a video notification on YouTube today that said exciting news on it, like it was the title of the video. So a lot of announcements are popping up in my life, and I really feel that the same thing is going to happen for you as well. And yeah, so a lot of good announcements. And this card didn't come out of the deck, but I was shown it in my mind's eye. My spirit guides reminded me of this card, so I really feel in my heart that I should show you this card, and it has meaning for you pertaining to this week. And it speaks about friendship. This is the Three of Cups card in the traditional tarot, and it's like the Three Musketeers. That's how I usually remember it, as the Three Musketeers, and they're all buddies. And we've got these angels just having a good time and celebrating something. And this card speaks about good news and celebrations. It says, wonderful news is on its way. Announcements regarding engagements, pregnancies, births, or graduations will be revealed. New friends will be made, or communities of like-minded people will draw closer to one another. Exciting new beginnings or happy endings are just around the corner. Another thing I wanted to add is you may have a work party with coworkers to celebrate the anniversary of your work. So maybe your place of work has been open for 60 years, and so there's a party to celebrate that 60-year anniversary of being open. So that's another thing. And I wrote down mom and pop shops. So it's possible that you work in a family business and you'll maybe do something fun for your work, like you'll bake some brownies and offer them to clients this week, or do something fun to celebrate the new year and for still being open, you know, like that's an accomplishment. Like maybe the store has been open for a year or two, and that's something to celebrate. So you bake some goodies and offer them to your clients, or do some kind of family celebration, like a family get together or dinner to celebrate. And there is a focus definitely about family, because Queen and King cards kept showing up in the first video I made, and this speaks about moms and dads, so parenthood and family in general. So maybe there will be like a family night where you watch a movie at home, and it's the movie that the whole family can watch, like some kind of cartoon like Mr. Incredibles, or you watch a TV show that shows families coming together and shows family life, like the TV show Parenthood or Modern Family. You could get into a TV show like that and kind of like binge watch it for a couple of days, or just watch an episode after dinner every night or something like that. Or you'll go to the movies. There's definitely family and friend bonding this week. Okay, so now that I got to that, I'm just going to scan my notes and see what I want to talk about next. Another thing that came up is science and art. Very interesting. So you may also go to a museum this week, or go to an art gallery. There is this focus on historic sites and buildings, and so like going to a museum shares history, and you get to see these artifacts that have been collected around the world, and they're ancient, and they have like this history infused into them. And you'll see photographs of people that played a big role in how our society is today. So maybe you'll also look up like Renaissance people and artists and people that really advanced science. And there may be scientific and historic discoveries this week, like some kind of ancient artifact is discovered and it has like special meaning to it. And maybe it's something that scientists and archaeologists have been searching for a while. I know I did see a post earlier today that scientists have discovered something new about like the human anatomy and how there's this thing, like a part of the human body that no one has ever discovered before, which is like interesting. So something like that, like scientific advancement and also celebrating art, like really old art. You'll maybe go to an art gallery and you'll see Da Vinci paintings and like really, really famous artistry or just art that portrays history and historic figures. Or you'll look up and do some research about different people from the past or different historic rituals, like the ancient Egyptians and their civilizations and what practices they did. I know they were very spiritual people. There's going to be like this drive and this push to really dive deep when it comes to history and famous individuals and just important monuments as well, like the China Wall or the George Washington Monument and the Statue of Liberty, like these important monuments around the world. Or you'll take a walk in the park and you'll see this beautiful water fountain in the middle. There's definitely something about like statues and places you can go to and see some kind of history about them. I know sometimes like when you go to a park you'll see this plaque and it has a name on it and it's in memory of someone that founded that park and why it's like named what it's named. A lot of you are going to go places this week. There's a lot of movement, I feel, and a lot of places you'll go and see. You'll maybe see like an old house and there will be this tour that you're a part of. The Molly Brown house is coming to mind. That's probably because it is a house that I did see, the Molly Brown house, and I did go on a tour in that place. So it's just a good example of a building you could go to and there's a tour for it and you get to learn about someone important in history. And you could also look up like family history and ancestry and look into that. Maybe you look into one of those like DNA websites because you're curious what your DNA says about you and your ancestry and your ancestors. Okay, that was a lot. Okay, so another thing that came up is ecology and environmental awareness. So this week I'd say is very, very grounded, and we're gonna want to go outside, soak up the sunlight, and take a walk by a lake or go hiking or Even like take your camera outside and take photos of the trees and the nature around you, the flowers, or like a water fountain that you visit one day. You go downtown and you walk around and see all of the buildings. And the buildings are ancient, or they look ancient because they've been around for a while. And you see all the different types of architecture and you take photos of them. There's really this like strong vibe about walking around town, and checking out different shops like mom and pop shops, or going to some kind of forest or botanic garden this week. We are really wanting to go outside this week. That's like one prediction that I want to make here. And flowers are like something huge this week as well. Like learning about different botanicals, different flowers, and the symbolic meaning of each flower, or seeing a lot of flowers. I actually made this prediction a couple of days ago, and I went to the store last night and I saw these people like buying these orchid flowers, and I also watched a video where next to the lady speaking, there were these beautiful white orchids standing next to her, and I did mention orchid flowers, so it was like interesting to see that. So there definitely is something about flowers and nature this week, and environmental awareness, like different laws and regulations on forests and how you want to help keep like endangered trees and animals alive for the long run. You know, like you may want to donate to volunteer groups that help certain animals or all animals, or like forest rangers, people that really try to protect and are a part of like conservation centers for fish or trees, anything along those lines. And this came up when I started talking about sandalwood. And this is another interesting thing. It's like really specific. So I did my research on sandalwood, and it turns out that sandalwood is actually a very prized and valuable kind of tree. And I learned that they take up to 80 years to reach full maturity, like these sandalwood trees. And they are endangered now because it's so popular. Sandalwood is used in so many different parts of the world because of its perfume. Like it's prized. It's basically gold. I guess like pure essential oil, sandalwood essential oil, is like $200 an ounce because it's so popular and people are cutting down the trees so fast. And obviously like the trees take like 20 to 30 years to reach the kind of like aroma that people want. So if people are cutting down these trees so fast, like they're gonna have to wait like 20 to 30 years for the next trees, you know? So this speaks about endangered species when it comes to trees and animals and just nature in general. And sandalwood has these really amazing therapeutic and medicinal qualities to it. And it's really prized, and it actually speaks about how we are going to carry ourselves through this week. So sandalwood has this really calming effect to it and also a cooling effect. So it allows you to be really aware and alert to your surroundings, but also remain in a really calm state. So we're going to achieve this really like cool headedness this week, or like we're gonna keep a cool head through different experiences this week. Maybe something comes up and it kind of maybe like causes anxiety in some kind of way, but you're able to like maintain your composure and keep a cool head through it, and you'll use your intellectual abilities to move through the situation, and you'll remain calm through it. So there's definitely a message about remaining calm through different changes that come up and things that maybe take you back a bit, catch you off guard, but you will remain calm and you will find a way through it. I wrote a lot of information down, and I am going to leave a link in the description box below so you can check out where I found my information, and you could read more on it if you were interested. So it says sandalwood is proven to sharpen the mind and heighten attentiveness and alertness while keeping one calm. It's also very uplifting to the emotions and is traditionally used to treat depression. Isn't that interesting? Sandalwood has been used for ages in many traditional systems of medicine, and these systems are Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, Tibetan medicine, and Coptic medicine. And one kind of system that I've really been zeroing in on with this message is Ayurveda. I think another word you could say about this is Ayurvedic. Hopefully that's right. But it's a traditional system of medicine in Indian culture, and one herb or medicine that is commonly used in this system is sandalwood, and it's used for many different things. Another thing I wrote down about sandalwood is it's a strong nervine, sedative, and tonic, capable of centering and calming the mind and thoughts, while kicking the parasympathetic nervous system into action. It tonifies, cools, and calms the nerves, helping to release tension, hot emotions, and thoughts that don't pertain to the moment. I also made a video, and it's called Letting Go, The Beautiful Art of Letting Go. That's what I titled it. And this is something that I talked a lot about in that video. It's about being present in the moment. So this is what we're going to experience often this week. Just really being aware of our surroundings and being present with ourselves and the people around us and our environment. It's really about seeing the beauty and the pleasure of life and of the things around you. Maybe putting on some perfume and just being pleased with the smell throughout the day, you know, like maybe you get a whiff of your perfume for a moment and you just feel happy, you know. Just something as simple as that, it brings happiness to your day, just a sweet smell. And so we're really going to be present with that and the blessings around us. This, in combination with its sedative and tonic actions on the heart, make it an important Ayurvedic remedy for insomnia, nervousness, tension, and anxiety. So if we find ourselves stressed this week, or we have this tension somewhere in our body, or we're having sleepless nights, we are going to find a remedy to that. And it's going to be an all-natural one, or something close to being all-natural. Maybe you'll get some essential oils out and it will really help you sleep, like lavender oil, or you'll get out the weighted blanket and it'll just really help you, or you'll get a cup of tea, sleepy time tea or something like that, and it will help you. So this week is really healing, and we're going to find natural remedies that help us in little ways, in areas of our life. Maybe we find ourselves anxious a lot of the time, and we start learning different breathing techniques to help us calm ourselves and our mind, or affirmations. And those are 100% natural, affirmations. You don't have to worry about anything being not natural. So this week focuses on what's organic. Like, what is organically us? What's our authentic self? We're going to connect to that aspect of ourselves. And we're also going to bond with what's organic, like the trees and nature. We're gonna go outside and soak up the sun, or maybe it's cold and we just we enjoy seeing the snow on the ground, and we make snow angels or snowmen, and we're connecting to the natural earth, like Mother Gaia, and we're going to ground our anxieties and whatever it is that is keeping us up at night, or worrying, or anything like that. We're going to find a remedy to that. Even going outside helps us to release that tension and anxiety within us. And we're going to connect to the natural world. And even connecting, or not connecting, but like utilizing different herbs and essential oils, that is connecting with the natural world as well. It's they're natural remedies from real herbs and trees and things that you see out in nature. Okay, give me a moment. Just finding all the notes I have on these. I also wrote down that sandalwood, its popularity began in India, where it became known as holy incense since the beginning of time. And this is a message for me because I've been discovering facts about Asia, and it really feels like home to me. I have this connection with that part of the world, even though I've never been there before. I've always been drawn to the unique practices and different things from that part of the world and that culture. And so it's kind of a message for me, but maybe it's a message for you as well. Just learning about different parts of the world and how the people live there, and the different practices, the different medicines, and just how they live. And that's part of history as well. What I'm reading right now is a part of history. So we are going to discover things like that. The scent is believed to be one of the most pleasing to the gods. Termites never attacked this tree. So it's referred to as a protective wood and sacred. And they are used for prayer beads. So maybe you'll buy some prayer beads or some rosaries or some malas this week, or just learn about that practice. And the powder is used for anointing one's forehead. And the scent of sandalwood wafts through nearly every Hindu home and temple. So it's really, really sacred. Indigenous to Southeast Asia, most expensive wood in the world. Spiritual practices in both the East and West. Oh, and I wrote down other stuff that doesn't pertain to it. And there's 2 different kinds of sandalwoods. There's actually more as well. There's one called True White and yellow sandalwood, and one kind is found in Hawaii, and there's Indian sandalwood, and guess where it is? India. And sandalwood trees bloom flowers that are white, red, and purple, so this also shares the message about botanicals and just the natural world. Indian sandalwood is found in one of the oldest Vedic scriptures of Hinduism, the Nirukta, considered divine wood used in carving and construction for temples, idols, religious statues, and spiritual tools. And I did mention sacred monuments, and so you may see different sculptures of figures, and it could be spiritual figures or just people high up in the government at one point. Known to stay fragrant for decades or longer. Most common incense found burning in ancient Hindu and Buddhist temples around India and Tibet. So this is a really specific place in the world. Maybe you'll learn about these places or go to these places, or maybe you'll live in these places, or one of them at least. And I wrote other stuff, but I'm going to leave the link in the description box below just so you can read more about sandalwood. I just thought it was so interesting. And so I wrote down earth awareness, ocean conservation and cleanup, recycling endangered wildlife species, endangered trees such as sandalwood, ecology, protect environment, especially from pollution, and all natural remedies or all natural anything. Maybe you're thinking about getting some new flooring in your house, and instead of going with what's it called, laminate, you go with actual wood. Something even as small as that, you go for the all-natural one rather than the synthetic kind of flooring in your house. Okay. Let me just scan this once more. I wrote down travel and adventure, and I did mention you may want to go places, go to some kind of shopping mall or see some kind of old house or building like the Molly Brown house, one that has history in it. Maybe you go to an old hotel. And it said, receive good news, receive a message through email, phone call, letter, message in person, or even Instagram, social media. I did mention that. And I also got this really strong message about the 10th. Cards kept coming up with the number 10 on them, and this number speaks about completion of cycles, or a completion of something. But I also received the message that something big may happen on the 10th of this week, and that is in like a day from now, a few days from now. So you may receive this news on the 10th or later than that, but there definitely is something big on the 10th. And I looked up politics because the Emperor and King's cards kept showing up. So I was like, is this something with the President of the United States? Something with politics? And I did find something about that. So it could be with politics, but it could also be something about good news, like in your personal life, or something really exciting going on in your friend's life or a family member's life, and you celebrate that. And you could even get a letter about being accepted to like a credit card, or you get a loan or something like that. I have like so many pieces of paper here, just making sure I say everything that I wrote down. We're going to feel very grounded this week as well. I wrote down magical practices, signs, and omens. So we may experience a lot of chance encounters with animals. So this is another prediction that actually came true for me as well. There's this emphasis on wildlife and animals. So you may go outside and see a bluebird or a cardinal or a hummingbird, or you'll see a coyote or a fox or some kind of animal, or you'll see commercials advertising different volunteer groups that help animals and endangered species. There is definitely something about that, and positive omens as well. Like maybe you see a butterfly and it's a positive sign and omen for you, and it's this huge synchronicity. So there is also something about magical practices. So maybe whipping up all these herbs and doing some kind of ritual or prayer, and you speak with the gods, goddesses, spirit guides, angels, loved ones, anyone in the spirit world. And birds. Birds was like huge with signs and omens, and I've seen a lot of birds, like geese flying. I heard a crow fly by me when I was sitting outside the other day, and like I heard it cawing. And I've seen a lot of like pictures of animals online and everything, so maybe you'll come across that as well. Okay, I got to everything actually. I'm pretty impressed, and it's not like an hour video yet, so I've got some time to pull some cards and share other things that I came across that I haven't written down. So this is a very special card for this week. This card came out so many times I lost count. This one is about family and friendship, and these are two lovebirds. Isn't this cute? And there's a rainbow over them, like above them, and they're cuddling, and this one has a party hat on, so it just validates the message that there will be some parties or some kind of exciting announcement and good news, and it will make you want to put a party hat on or celebrate in some kind of way. And here we have the 10, the number 10. So good news, or a party will take place on the 10th. Or it could be something small, but there's something very, very positive about this day. And I even looked up, like, is there some kind of big moon event, like on the 10th? I didn't find anything on that. But I just feel it. Like, there's something around the 10th that's really big that's gonna take place. I'm gonna read a little bit from the book on this card. This card is about happiness, marriage. So maybe you go to a wedding and you're invited. Home life, I didn't mention that, like family, parenthood, a family night out, family movie night, you know, get some popcorn and some ice cream and just chill with your family. Prosperity, rewards, positivity, and joy. This card embodies happiness, joy, and contentment. One sec. Camera takes a while to zoom in sometimes. Well, you saw it. I'll just leave it down here. It is a good omen for your relationships and family life. A rainbow sits over the heads of these happy lovebirds, a spiritual sign that signifies the end of hard times and blessings from the universe. And you know, there could be bonding with your significant other as well, or your boyfriend or girlfriend, because this is a card that shows like two lovebirds. So it doesn't just have to be family or friends. It could also be like hanging out with your pets or with your significant other or boyfriend or girlfriend. So that also is included in this message. In a reading, the Ten of Cups is always a good omen. Even if the cards in a spread are difficult, the Ten of Cups reminds you that happiness and the comfort of friends and family are the reward at the end of a long road. Take comfort. You may be feeling alone, burdened, and troubled now, but it will not last. Ten of Cups is indicative of a harmonious and loving family life. Now is a time to take stock of the love and closeness with which you have been blessed. And that's all I'd like to say about this card. Okay. I'll just shuffle this deck. I'm just like gathering my thoughts and just thinking like, what do I want to share next? But I can't think of anything else, so I'm just gonna see what other cards show up. Okay. More messages. Ace of Cups. This one came out for this week, or like the last week ahead reading I did. Interesting. Some more messages about this week. Predictions. Yeah, okay, this one came out in the first reading that I did. So we got the Ace of Cups here. And I did say last week what this means, but it mostly talks about new beginnings. So this also shares the message about really positive and exciting announcements pertaining to a new beginning, like graduation. That is the beginning of that person's life, and they can pursue the next level of their dream now, you know, or becoming parents, having a baby shower, starting a business, getting a new car. These are new things, and they're very positive things. This also speaks about soulmates and true love, so maybe you will meet someone new this week, and it could possibly be a soulmate, like a friend, or a romantic soulmate, a significant person you may have a chance meeting with. This also speaks about like water fountains. Like you may go to a park where there's a water fountain and you'll toss a coin in it, make a wish. Or go to a lake, go somewhere near water, or there's some kind of like water therapy. And there's a message about like hydrotherapy. So going to a sauna, getting a pedicure done, soaking in a hot tub, like going to a rec center and just sitting in the hot tub for a while. If you're feeling any pain, like back pain or something like that, using bath salts, and also drinking a lot of water. So there's this message about making sure you really hydrate this week, because it could be really dry where you are, and it's just really good to stay hydrated. And you could get some cucumbers and get some chilled cucumber water, or just get some lemons to put in the water to really get you to want to drink water, and get some like tasty water, just make it taste good. And another thing I wrote down is cheers. So you see this cup in this card, and you know how when you go to a party sometimes someone will tap on the glass to make an announcement? This is speaking about this, and it also talks about how when you cheers with like glass, you clink the two glass cups together and cheers to something big. You do this on New Year's, but also for wedding parties or just some kind of really big celebration. And if it's a baby shower, it's most likely going to be a boy. Like maybe there's this gender reveal party, and there's going to be like this cute little reveal celebration. I know there's like so many different ways to reveal the gender of the baby. Like they'll the parents will get a cake and it's either pink or blue, but like this is coming up because there's like blue in this card, so it's most likely going to be a boy, which is interesting. Like, who would have guessed that there would be a message shared with this card based on the color, you know? But this is what I'm seeing. Like, it's mostly blue in this card. I just think it's very unique that that's coming through here. And we got the 8 of Wands. And there's a lot of movement in this card. So there's going to be a lot taking place and happening this week. A lot of possibly fast decisions and fast actions, like it's time to act. And this card also talks about an arrival of a message. So you making an announcement or a message coming to you, and it's really good news, and it's like out of the blue. like it shows in this card, it looks like Bambi and a pheasant. You just see a lot of movement. And it could be a wedding announcement because I see these red rose petals, and this always makes me think of weddings. And maybe you're invited to the wedding and you're asked to be the maid of honor, or your child is going to be the ring bearer or something about that, or you're just invited to your friend's wedding or someone's wedding. I'm just gonna read like the really short meanings to this card. Movement, speed, travel, I did mention that, haste, time to act, progress, hope, and the arrival of a message. The Eight of Wands indicates that a time for action has arrived. So we're going to make decisions and act on a lot of things, whatever ideas we have, or like maybe we want to go to the museum one day, and so we make it happen. Like, things are going to happen this week. There's not going to be any holding back. We're going to take that leap. Okay, I'm going to pull one final card and share one final message for this reading and for this week. Okay, so predictions and messages about this week. I'm curious what animal is going to come out. This is the Secret Language of Animals Oracle deck. I kind of want to like guess what it is, like what animal it is. There's geese flying like outside my window right now. I wonder if you could hear them. You know, I'm wondering if it's a bird. Like, it could be a bird. Or a dolphin. Or a whale. Talking about water. I'm excited to see. Wood? Oh my gosh. That's interesting. Nowhere near what I was thinking, but you know what? This just like ties this whole reading together, actually. And I'm gonna make it so you can see the writing here. So I was talking about sandalwood and grounding energies out. Like, if you are anxious, you may go outside and put your feet on the ground and feel the sun, and you'll suddenly feel like clear-headed, clear-minded, and you'll feel refreshed. Like, there's this refreshing feeling about this week, and this connection to nature and animals and the natural world around us and our environment. And like the sandalwood, it talked about that, connecting to herbs, essential oils, and incense, you know, natural remedies that lift your spirits. And it's just beautiful that this came out. And it says growth, connection, support, and renewal. And one word that I've been repeating throughout this whole reading is connection. Connecting with family and friends and those around you, connecting with your environment and your pets and the animals that you witness and have chance encounters with out in nature, or connecting with the trees. And just really grounding out any worries that you have and becoming refreshed and having this renewed sense of clarity and you are ready to act on whatever it is that maybe you've been holding yourself back on pursuing because of fears or worries. But now you feel refreshed and renewed because of the time out that you took. Time out you took out in nature, in that solitude, and the connection you made with the wildlife and the flowers and the plants, or connecting with your family members and your friends, having a talk with someone, and just really letting out what you needed to say. And so now you feel better. It's like a weight that's been lifted off your shoulders. And it's just so beautiful. This card came out. I love it. Sandalwood. It just talks about this in like being conscious of the environment and endangered species, and trying to save those species, like sandalwood trees. They're endangered, and so maybe some people this week, they will decide to plant some seeds, you know, and they're going to tend to them and do something about it, acting on it, donating to some kind of volunteer group, or donating your own time to a cause close to your heart to help the environment, to help the ocean, to help the trees, to help wildlife. Yeah. And support. There's going to be a lot of support this week, support of family and friends, and support with the joyous times that you are a part of, like the parties and the celebrations and those special announcements and the good news. It is very rewarding, and it's very uplifting to be a part of something like that. So this is the last message that I'd like to share with you about the coming week, the next 6 days, and I hope that this resonated with you. I'd love to hear how these messages come about for you and if these predictions come true. And I hope you have a beautiful week. Bye.